They did it while you weren't looking, while you were busy being loyal, while you were too busy giving a damn, thinking they were doing the same. And the funniest part? You weren't even stupid. You knew something was off, but loyalty, oh boy. Loyalty has this nasty habit of making you blind. And now look at you, sitting here, broken, questioning your worth, as if you're the problem, as if something's wrong with you. They smiled in your face, fed off your kindness, and when you turned your back, they spit on your name like it was a joke to them, but you stayed quiet. You swallowed it all. And I know how that silence burns. Because silence ain't weakness, it's pressure. Pressure building up, waiting, planning, watching. And that's where the story changes, doesn't it? You're not meant to scream back. You're not meant to post stories or cry to friends. That's what they expect. That's what they want. Because the second you react, you lose power. But oh, when you say nothing, when you vanish from their radar and focus on your grind, that's when they get nervous. That's when the guilt starts creeping in. That's when the mirror turns on them, not you. Let them choke on their choices. Let them sit with what they did. Let them regret it in the middle of the night when your name comes up in rooms you're no longer in. You owe them nothing. Not your pain. Not your voice. Not your damn explanation. And you know what's poetic? You gave them gold, raw, uncut, real gold. You gave them the type of love that can't be bought, can't be faked, and they tossed it for glitter. Cheap, shiny, plastic glitter that fades in the first storm. And now they sit with glitter on their hands, realizing it ain't worth shit. That's the game, kid. People don't see your value when you're available. They see it when you disappear. They mock you while you're around, then miss you when you're gone. But don't you dare go back. Don't give them a chance to use you twice. You're not a toy. You're not a second option. You're not a backup plan for cowards who couldn't choose you the first time. You want revenge? Don't scream. Don't argue. Don't expose. Building. Blow up in silence. Let success slap them so hard they feel it every time they open their phone. Make them regret losing you. Make them wish they treated you better, but not by begging, not by proving, by transforming. Become the version of you they prayed you'd never be. The version who doesn't wait, who doesn't explain, who doesn't check who's watching. You walk like you own the storm now. You are the storm they never prepared for. Now sit up, wipe your tears. You gave too much to break now. You carried too much pain to fold now. There's rage inside you, beautiful, righteous rage. Channel it, use it. Let it sharpen your focus, not blur your mind. Let it drive you into building an empire so loud the silence around it feels deafening. Because the truth, they didn't break you, they upgraded you. And soon they'll regret every lie, every betrayal, every whisper behind your back. You just keep walking, in silence, with purpose. Let karma do the talking. Let your glow do the revenge. They thought you'd stay stuck. They thought what they did would break you, that you'd be another casualty, another name in the pile of the forgotten. But let me tell you something real, something no one else dares to say out loud. They bet against the wrong soul. They thought you needed them, thought you'd crumble without their fake love, without their attention, their approval. They mistook your kindness for dependency. And that's where they messed up. Because you weren't desperate. You were devoted. You weren't weak. You were willing. Willing to ride for them. Willing to show up when no one else did. Willing to believe in them when they didn't even believe in themselves. And what did you get in return? A knife in the back and silence to go with it. No explanation, no apology, just cold betrayal, followed by the echo of doors closing behind you. But I'll tell you what they never realized. People like you don't die in pain. They rise in it. They transform in it. Because betrayal doesn't kill the real ones. It awakens them. And now they're not just scared of what you'll say. They're terrified of what you'll become. They know they gave you a reason. They know they handed you the fuel. You were loyal without a price, honest without a mask, and they treated you like background noise. But now, the same voice they ignored, it's the one echoing in their heads. Now, they scroll past your name, pretending it doesn't sting. Now they tell others you changed, but deep down, they know you just adjusted. You adjusted to their lies, to their absence, to their disrespect. You know what hurts them the most? It's not that you left. It's that you left better, stronger, colder, smarter. And the Joker in me, he finds that delicious. Because now they gotta watch you, not in front row seats. Those were revoked. Now they get the cheap view, the outsider's view. They get to hear about you, see flashes of you, but never feel you again. That's justice. That's the punishment, distance, regret. Wondering if you still remember. Wondering if someone else is getting what they threw away. And you walk like it never touched you. You smile like it never fazed you. Because real revenge isn't loud. It's elegant. It's slow. It's cold. So let them whisper. Let them pretend. Let them lie about how it ended, about what they did. The truth always comes out. And when it does, don't even blink. Don't reach out. Don't soften. Don't say, it's okay. It's not. You're not here to make them feel better about what they did. You're here to make them feel it in every empty connection, in every shallow laugh, in every moment of silence where your voice used to be. They'll feel it. And when they do, just keep moving. No reaction, no return. That's the art of it all. You didn't lose them. They lost you. And that's something no apology, no fake check-in, no late-night message can ever reverse. Let them regret it. Let them drown in it. Let the pain they gave you return home to them, dressed in silence and wrapped in success. They never thought twice, did they? When they laughed behind your back, when they spread lies using your name like it was entertainment, when they turned your silence into weakness and your loyalty into a punchline. They never paused to consider the weight of what they were doing, because they never saw you as human, just a convenience, a backup, someone who was there when it benefited them. But now you've gone quiet. Not the silence of surrender, no, the silence of transformation, the silence that comes right before a storm. And, oh, storms don't warn people. They just show up and change everything. You gave them the realest version of you, not the polished, perfect mask, the raw, bleeding, flawed, but faithful version, the kind that still shows up even when it's hurt. And what did they do with that version? They stepped on it, used it, mocked it. And now they act confused about your distance, your coldness, your calm detachment. See, that's the part they never understand. When someone like you shuts down, it's not petty, it's permanent. It's not a mood, it's a funeral. The version of you they abused is dead. And what's left? Oh, it's not someone who begs or proves or explains. What's left is someone who builds in silence and lets the results scream for them. You used to check your phone hoping they'd see you. Now you don't even flinch when their name pops up. You used to explain yourself. Now you just raise an eyebrow and walk away. That's growth. That's pain turned into clarity. Because real pain doesn't leave you the same. It strips the illusions. It kills the fantasy. It forces you to see people for who they really are, not who you wanted them to be. And that clarity, that's your weapon now. That's your armor. And while they're busy chasing temporary attention, you're stacking moves, rebuilding your empire, becoming untouchable. Don't give in to nostalgia. Don't romanticize their role in your life. They had a seat at your table and chose to spit in the plate. That's not love. That's not misunderstanding. That's disrespect. And you don't teach people how to value you by explaining your pain. You teach them by removing access. Let them sit in rooms full of noise and feel the silence of your absence. Let them date replacements and realize none of them hit the same. Let them chase closure they'll never get. Because you're not obligated to give them peace after they shattered yours. Revenge isn't about hurting them. It's about becoming someone they can't touch, someone they can't reach with their games, their drama, their fake apologies. And when they do come back, and they will come back, they won't find the same person. They'll find someone colder, sharper, quieter. And in that silence, they'll find their regret echoing louder than anything you could have said. So keep walking, keep building, keep winning. Not for them, not to prove anything, but because you deserve to. Because they mistook your grace for dependence. And now you'll show them what true independence looks like. Let them regret. Let them ache. Let them break in the silence they left you in. They'll swear you switched up. That's what they do when the version of you they manipulated no longer exists. They'll say you changed, but they won't mention why. They won't talk about the nights you stayed up fighting demons they handed you. They won't admit to the gaslighting, the guilt tripping, the way they played victim after playing you. Nah, that part gets left out because accountability is too heavy for cowards. So they'll tell their little stories, twist the truth to fit their comfort, and wear your name like a medal for surviving your absence. But deep down, they know. Oh, they know the real reason you went silent. It's written all over their hesitation when your name comes up. It's in the way they flinch when someone praises you. Because nothing haunts a traitor like the soul they couldn't destroy. And here's the twisted beauty of it. You owe them no explanation. You owe them no closure, no one last talk. You gave them access, gave them chances, gave them grace they never deserved. And when they kept choosing chaos over you, you finally chose peace over chaos. That's not being cold. That's survival. That's evolution. You survived people who tried to bury you with silence, with doubt, with betrayal. And now they gotta live with the version of you that doesn't flinch, doesn't chase, doesn't check who's watching, because you're no longer trying to be understood. You're just trying to build quietly, relentlessly, unapologetically. Let them regret what they did behind your back. Let the guilt rot their smiles. Let every fake laugh feel emptier the longer they pretend it doesn't bother them. And while they spiral trying to cover up what they did, you rise. You build something that makes their betrayal look small. Something they can't erase, can't copy, can't access. Your silence isn't weakness. It's the sound of you sharpening your focus. It's the sound of you cashing in every lesson they forced on you. And now, every move you make is revenge. Every success is a reminder. Every win is a slap they'll pretend doesn't sting. And let me tell you something cruelly beautiful. One day, they'll sit in a room full of people and still feel alone. Not because they're alone, but because you're not there. Because the loyalty they once took for granted now lives somewhere else, in someone else. Because they had the realest thing and thought it was replaceable. But souls like yours, they don't get duplicated. They don't get recycled. You were the damn blueprint, and now they're stuck with copies. So let them fake it. Let them smile through the ache. Let them say, I'm happy for you, with trembling voices. Because the same mouth that mocked you will one day whisper your name with nothing but regret. You don't chase justice, you become it. And the pain they left in you, It's the foundation of everything you're about to build. So stand tall, smile quietly, walk past them like a ghost they can't touch anymore. And don't ever apologize for how you had to save yourself. Let them live with it. Let them regret it. Let the silence speak louder than any revenge ever could. They'll act unbothered. That's part of the show. That blank face they wear, it's not strength. It's a mask. A desperate attempt to pretend they didn't fumble something divine. But behind closed doors, that's where the truth breathes. That's where they stare at their reflection and see your ghost staring back. That's where their fake confidence cracks, piece by piece. Because no matter how many new people they entertain, no matter how loud they laugh, no matter how bright the lights get, there's an ache that doesn't leave, a void they can't fill, because they know they lost someone who actually gave a damn, someone who would have fought for them when no one else even noticed them bleeding. And now they sit in the middle of the noise wishing they had appreciated your silence when it was still peaceful, not punishing. Let me explain something to you, and don't ever forget it. When someone disrespects you behind your back, it's never by accident. It's a reflection of how they always felt, but were too cowardly to say to your face. That betrayal, that wasn't a mistake. That was a choice. An insult carefully delivered behind curtains because they thought you'd never find out. And when you finally did, they didn't apologize because they were sorry. They apologized because they got caught. That's the difference. And you're not stupid. You felt it. You sensed the shift. You just loved too hard to admit it. You just hoped loyalty would turn them honest. But loyalty doesn't fix a snake. It just gives it more time to bite. But here's the Joker in me. I love when they regret it. I love when they try to act like you didn't matter, then can't help but stalk you from the shadows, watching your progress, lurking on your page, asking mutuals about you, but pretending they don't care. They care. They burn. Because the person they tried to bury is blooming in silence. Because the pain they gave birth to became the power that fuels your rise. That's the kind of karma that doesn't knock. It kicks doors down. And it doesn't ask for revenge. It becomes it. Quietly, elegantly, unstoppably. They thought hurting you would make them powerful. But they forgot one thing. You don't break the unbreakable. You just wake it up. And now that you're awake, there's no going back. You don't chase people anymore. You don't beg for validation. You don't sit around hoping they'll treat you right. You observe. You move. You build. And that silence they once mistook for weakness, that's the same silence that haunts them now. Because nothing screams louder than the absence of the one who once held you down while they kept tearing you apart. So don't let the past seduce you. Don't let temporary guilt trick you into reopening doors that should stay deadbolted. You're not who you were when they had you. You're stronger now, sharper, colder. And that coldness, it's not bitterness, it's protection. It's wisdom earned through fire. And the fire they lit behind your back, you're now using it to light the whole damn sky. Let them regret it, quietly. Let them ache, silently. And let the version of you that rose from their betrayal be the loudest reminder that loyalty, once disrespected, never returns the same. They'll remember you in fragments, never fully, never clearly, just flashes, moments. The sound of your voice in rooms they don't belong in anymore. The calm in your chaos. The patience they confused with weakness. The love they mistook for obsession. See, the human mind has this cruel way of storing guilt. It doesn't erase it, it hides it, buries it deep under distractions, relationships, noise, but it always surfaces in silence, in the dark, at 2 a.m. when everything stops and there's no one left to impress. That's when your name comes back. It's when the betrayal screams louder than the laughter they shared at your expense. That's when they realize you weren't perfect, but you were real. And real doesn't come around twice. They didn't break you. Let's make that clear. They triggered something in you. A rebirth, a transformation. That heartbreak, that betrayal, that was your awakening. They may have stabbed you from behind, but you didn't fall. You learned. You learned that love isn't loud promises. It's silent consistency. You learned that loyalty without boundaries becomes a cage. And most importantly, you learned that silence is a language only the evolved understand. While they thought you were sulking, you were studying. While they were mocking, you were moving. While they were looking for another you were becoming someone they'll never deserve again. And now you walk differently. Not bitter, just aware. Not angry, just awake. You see through people now. You don't chase. You don't explain. You don't try to prove your worth to those who couldn't see it when it was being handed to them for free. Because that's the reality. You were free, and they still couldn't handle you. You loved with no games. You gave without keeping score, and they played you like a fool. But the joke? Oh, the joke is on them now. Because now they sit in a crowd full of temporary people, pretending they're content, while you're out here, unfazed, building something sacred from the ruins they left behind. Let them scroll past your pictures and feel that punch in the gut. Let them pretend they forgot you, even as every little success of yours rips through their ego. Let them be haunted by the version of you they lost. The version who forgave too easily, who stayed too long, who believed too much. That version died in silence. What's left now is someone who remembers, but no longer waits, who feels, but no longer reacts. You're not here for revenge. You're here for redemption, for elevation, And the pain they caused, that was the tuition. Pain isn't punishment, it's payment. Payment for the strength you earned, the clarity you gained, the detachment you mastered. So don't soften. Don't explain your glow to those who dimmed it. Let them regret what they did when you weren't looking. Let their shame grow roots in their chest. You don't need to scream. You don't need to shout. Just exist loudly, beautifully, unapologetically. That's the real revenge. That's the final blow. And the best part, you did it without ever saying a word. You ever notice how they only start to care when it's too late? How they only realize your worth when you stop explaining yourself? When your name becomes just a whisper in rooms they no longer get access to? That's not love. That's guilt dressed in nostalgia. That's regret, pretending to be longing. They didn't miss you. They missed the version of themselves that had access to someone loyal, someone real, someone who gave without asking for anything but respect. But they couldn't even give you that. And now they have to sit with the consequences of choosing pride over purity, lies over loyalty, noise over your peace. Let that sink in. They didn't just lose a person, they lost their proof. Proof that they were capable of being loved without masks, without games. And they threw it all away behind your back. You gave them a version of love that most people spend lifetimes searching for. And because it was quiet, consistent, and real, it scared them. It exposed their immaturity. It made them uncomfortable. Because you weren't playing a role, you were living in truth. And people who live in lies can't handle that. So they sabotage, they gossip, they cheat, they manipulate the story so they don't look like the villain. But deep down, they know. They always know. And every time they sit with someone new, they'll compare them to you. Every time they feel alone, they'll remember the warmth you carried like armor for both of you. But now, that warmth is gone. And you're not cold. You're just not available anymore. That's the difference. And don't let them gaslight you into thinking your silence is bitterness. It's not. It's self-respect. You're not punishing them. You're protecting yourself. Because you learned that sometimes the kindest thing you can do for your own soul is to walk away and never look back. No closure, no final words. Just absence. That's what hits the hardest. Not the yelling, not the revenge. The silence, the stillness. The fact that they know they can never reach you again. Not on the same level, not in the same way. You evolved. And evolution doesn't rewind. It moves forward, even if it has to drag broken pieces behind it. And trust me, you'll build something beautiful out of those pieces. They underestimated you, thought you'd fold, thought you'd chase, thought you'd lose your mind trying to win them back. But instead, you turned your back, stayed silent, and started building. And now, they don't know what version of you they'd even be speaking to if they came back, because the one they betrayed doesn't exist anymore. And that's what keeps them up at night. not the guilt, not the shame, the fear that you became someone they can't manipulate, someone they can't explain away, someone they can't touch without burning their hands on the fire they sparked. Let them drown in what they did in the dark. Let them rot in the reality they created. You're not here to rescue them. You're here to rise, quietly, consistently, without applause, without announcement. You are your own redemption arc, and they're just the ashes. Let them regret. Let them break. Let your silence echo louder than any scream they ever deserved. They'll tell people you changed, that you became distant, that you're not the same anymore. But what they won't say, what they can't admit, is that they're the reason you had to change. They won't say it was their betrayal that killed your softness. They won't mention how many nights you held in screams because you didn't want to look weak. They'll leave out how many times you showed up, forgave, gave chances, looked the other way, all while they stabbed you in silence. Number that part. Never gets told. Because if they admit it, they may have to face the mirror. And cowards break mirrors before they ever own their reflection. You had to become this version of you. You had no choice. The version before, the one they walked over, wasn't going to survive in this world. That version loved too deeply, gave too easily, explained too much, and got nothing but scars to show for it. So you did what survivors do. You went quiet. You stopped begging. You turned all that emotion inward and used it to rebuild. Not as a new person, but as a realer one. Someone who doesn't just see people anymore. Someone who reads them. Someone who doesn't just love hard. Someone who loves wisely. Someone who doesn't forgive fast, but forgives smart. And now they want to talk. They want to test the waters, see if that door's still cracked, see if that warmth still exists behind the silence. But what they don't understand is your silence isn't temporary. It's not a break. It's a statement. It says, I saw what you did. I felt what you hid. And I'm never letting you close enough to do it again. It says, I've outgrown the parts of me that tolerated your chaos. You're not angry. You're not bitter. You're just done. And when someone like you is done, there's no restart button. There's no reset. There's just absence. And absence is a language all its own. It says everything you never needed to scream. They'll regret you in pieces, in small moments, in quiet flashbacks, in the space between distractions. When the world slows down and the silence is too loud, that's when your name will return. Not like a memory, like a lesson, a warning, a reminder of what happens when you play with someone who only ever wanted to see you win. And they'll reach out. Maybe not directly, maybe through someone else, maybe through a like, a view, a fake smile at a distance. But it won't matter, because you're not the same. You've healed in places they don't even know exist. You've built in shadows they'll never walk through. You've grown roots in silence so deep, no storm can move you again. So don't turn back. Don't soften for nostalgia. Don't open doors to people who walked through them with muddy feet. Let them stand outside and knock forever. Let them wonder if you still think about them. Let them feel the weight of what they did without you there to carry it for them anymore. That's power. That's healing. That's your legacy now. You were the one that got away and stayed away. They say time heals everything, but what they don't tell you is that time doesn't heal betrayal. Time just exposes it. See, pain like that doesn't fade. It evolves. It stops showing up as tears and starts showing up as boundaries. It turns into caution, into silence, into a new version of you that doesn't entertain illusions anymore. And they hate that. They hate that you learned, that you stopped reacting, that you stopped proving, explaining, fixing, because that means they're out of control now. That means the power they once had, the power to make you question your worth, to manipulate your emotions, to steal your peace, is gone. You took it back, not with revenge, not with a fight, with silence. And now they sit in the very mess they created, trying to stitch together an explanation that makes them look innocent. They'll rewrite the story, reshape the truth, tell anyone who will listen that you were too much, too emotional, too distant. But never once will they say they lied. They disrespected. They betrayed. Because liars need to be victims to sleep at night. And you no longer care about clearing your name in rooms you don't even walk in anymore. That's growth. That's power. That's the kind of maturity that drives manipulators insane. When the one they wronged stays silent and wins anyway. They'll hear your name in random conversations, and it'll hit different. It'll sting. Not because they miss you, but because they lost you. Because they realize too late that what they did can't be undone. There's no let's talk, no I didn't mean it, no last-minute confessions that fix the damage. Because the damage didn't just hurt you, it changed you. It sculpted you into someone stronger, colder, calmer. You're no longer the type of person who waits for people to understand you. You're the type who walks away when they don't. That's what they regret. That's what keeps them up. And trust me, they do regret it. But you won't hear it. You won't get the apology. You won't receive the closure, because that would mean admitting fault. And for people like them, that's too heavy. So instead, they'll stay quiet. They'll watch you from a distance. They'll envy your glow and pretend they're happy. But inside, they're haunted. Haunted by the thought that someone else now has what they threw away. That someone else gets the loyalty they took for granted. And that thought, it won't leave them. Not tomorrow. Not next year. Never. So don't look back. Don't question your silence. Don't water down your power to comfort the ones who tried to destroy it. You're not heartless, you're healed. And that healing came at a cost. Nights of doubt, days of pain. But now you move different. You talk different. You love different. And that difference, it's your crown. Wear it. Let it shine. Let it burn in the eyes of those who thought they could break you quietly. Let them regret everything they did behind your back without ever getting another chance to see your face again. They thought they were getting away with it. That's the illusion betrayal creates. It makes people think silence is ignorance. That if you didn't scream, you didn't notice. If you didn't react, you weren't hurt. But you noticed everything. Every backhanded comment, every shift in tone, every time they laughed a little too loud when your name wasn't in the room. You felt it, like a cold wind blowing through a door you didn't realize had been left open. And it didn't break you, not right away. No, it did something worse. It shattered your illusion. The idea that loyalty meant something to everyone, that being real would protect you from being replaced, that love, when given pure, could never be thrown away. And that's where your story changed. That's where you went silent. Not because you had nothing to say, but because you realized nothing you say would ever reach someone who chooses to hear only their lies. So you shut the door, locked it, and instead of screaming into the void, you sat in the quiet. And in that quiet, you rebuilt, piece by piece. You took the hurt, the humiliation, the confusion, and you turned it into discipline, into control, into vision. That's what they don't expect. They don't expect the one they betrayed to rise smarter, to glow harder, to become so untouchably calm that their regret eats them alive. You see, when you walk away in silence, you don't just remove your presence, you remove your light, the peace you brought into their chaos, the warmth you offered even when you were freezing inside. And once that light is gone, it doesn't take long for them to feel the cold. They might not say it. Hell, they'll never admit it. But they feel it. In every fake connection. In every half-hearted smile. In every forced laugh they post to prove they're doing just fine. But real ones, they don't need to prove. They don't need to announce. They just exist. And your existence now, it's the loudest silence they've ever heard. They'll go through cycles, denial, anger, nostalgia, but none of it brings you back. Because you're not a chapter. They can't just flip the page. You were the whole damn story. And now that it's closed, they're stuck rereading their favorite parts and wishing they hadn't scribbled all over the pages. But this book, it's not for sale anymore. It's out of print. And the person you are now, they don't even deserve to read the title. Let that sit heavy on them. Let it linger. You owe them nothing. Not your words, not your updates, not your forgiveness, not even your memories. You moved different because you felt different. And now you are different. And anyone who tries to drag you back to the version of you that tolerated betrayal doesn't love you. They love your submission. But that version is gone, dead. And in its place stands someone untouchable, someone unbothered, someone who doesn't break anymore. They break patterns. Let them sit in rooms filled with people who'll never know you. Let them watch from a distance as you rise without them. And every time they think of you, let them choke on the truth they buried behind your back, that they lost someone who would have burned the world to keep them warm. And now they're just cold forever. You see, there's a special kind of silence that follows betrayal. It's not just the absence of words, it's the death of trust. The death of all the little things that once made your connection feel safe. They thought you were just going to keep showing up, keep pouring from your cup, keep being the one who fixes, who forgives, who forgets. But the truth is, you remembered everything. Every time they didn't defend your name. Every time they let people disrespect you behind closed doors. Every time they saw your worth shrinking and said nothing. That kind of betrayal, it doesn't come with knives. It comes with shrugs, with silence, with the quiet decision to not have your back. And that's what made it worse. It wasn't what they did. It was what they allowed. What they turned a blind eye to while you were busy protecting their name like it was sacred. So when you left, you didn't slam the door. You didn't burn bridges. You just disappeared. Quiet, surgical, clean. Because when you truly level up, you don't need to announce your exit. You just stop shrinking. You stop begging. You stop giving explanations to people committed to misunderstanding you. That's the kind of silence they never recover from. The one they created, but didn't see coming. They thought you'd always be there, right? Always one apology away. One, I miss you from coming back. But what they don't understand is that real pain changes the locks. It builds walls you don't even know are going up until they're finished. And by then, nobody gets in. Now, you live differently. You talk less. You observe more. You let people reveal themselves without interference. You don't jump to fix anymore. You watch. You learn. Because you finally understood that not everyone deserves your energy, and most people don't even know what to do with your loyalty. And that's their loss. That's the regret they're going to carry. Not in their prideful moments, but in the silence, in the stillness. When everything's quiet and their mind replays that one look you gave them when you knew the truth. That look, that knowing, it haunts them because they saw it. They knew the mask was slipping and you were never coming back. Let them talk. Let them post. Let them pretend they're unshaken. But silence has a way of peeling off pretenses. It reveals who's healing and who's hiding. And you're not hiding anymore. You're not trying to be understood, liked, or forgiven. You're trying to build a life so solid, so at peace, that anyone who once tried to shatter you has to watch from the sidelines. Silent, regretful, irrelevant. You don't need revenge. Your peace is revenge. Your glow is revenge. Your evolution, that's the punishment. Let them see it. Let them feel it. And let them regret everything they ever did behind your back. Because now, you're untouchable.